All right, so this one is a little bit more sad. I started writing when I was going through a kind of rough time in my life, and that's what this poem is about. This is called Dead Flowers. Sometimes the silence kills me. Your last gift was a vacuum of love so strong it could suck every grain of dust from beneath my toes. And I find this kind of ironic because you were always so good with a broom. Sweeping me off my feet, then under the rug, you left no trace of the word us, dug hollow space beneath my treasure chest, taking the dirt with you like a thief who just stole that big W from the word whole. This mad world just became a little bit more so. So I try to use this vacuum to clean the mess you left behind, and sometimes I find time capsules scattered in rooms we once shared. Sometimes a few strands of red hair still haunt my clothes or curl in forgotten corners like a frightened child who's not okay with his parents when they say, "I'm sorry, but it's time to move away from here." And I know this borders on obsessive, but every single time I find one of your little protesters who stayed behind, I feel like a cancer child who made it to Christmas morning. One more year. Every single time I look at those carpet dents where your furniture used to sit, I wonder if they'll ever rise up, or if the burden they once carried will keep them depressed forever. Sometimes I still get mail addressed to you and it sits in the most organized stack of paper in the entire house. My W-2 still prefers to call you spouse, and that'll take a court order to change. Just like it took a court order for you to keep sending checks, but I'd rather see a list of your regrets, because a single drop of saliva pirouetting off your tongue onto mine is a dance I'd trade for poverty time and time again. I wish a court could order you to send that goodbye hug I never got instead. Money may not grow on trees, but love doesn't grow anywhere. It just is, and unlike money, every poet knows that you can try to print love, but that doesn't necessarily make it so. So you tell me what's worth more. Tell me what's worth more than old photographs and love letters that still keep me warm, even though I can't bring myself to throw them in the fire. At least not yet. Maybe I will someday, but there's still one thing I hope I never throw away. On the sink in our bathroom sits the last bouquet of flowers I ever bought, crumbled like a Greek tourist trap I keep visiting even though I stopped believing in what it represents. Withered and dry, two former blooms with bowed heads, still stuck in muck, filthier than toilet water. Miracle of miracles, one day, those flowers just stopped dying. And I guess the scientist in me wants to roll his eyes and say that's because you can only reach for death so much before you finally touch them. But then maybe the romantic in me prefers to think of it as a sign that one person can only kill so much of what two people created. And since I always hated goodbyes, I decided to leave those guys hanging half-mast, tattered and torn like a star-spangled tryst. I wish you could read this poem that I wrote in their honor, like a national anthem for the state of denial. I'll buy a new bouquet if you ever come home, but then again, I know you won't, so I decided to keep those guys for my own, because I'm still drunk on that day those petals stopped turning brown, saving a final hue of pink around the edge so I could always carry with me a hint that what once was red doesn't die completely until you too are ready to let go.